They're making nope. Just starting off and they're making all that noise already. I can
Yeah.
already tell how this is gonna go.
So
Well,
Royal Rumble.
welcome everyone. You've got Left Eye Ego. I am joined by the Shiro, and welcome to episode 3 of Ordinary Games. All right, Shiro. Before we get started, how are you doing this evening?
Doing great. Just trying to stay out of the fighting zone from the dogs.
Yeah, yeah. They're having the regular dog fight club over there. All right, all right. So, again, this is we're on episode 3. I guess I could kind of title this, if anything, we could say it's kind of the Grateful Gains episode of this because we're gonna be talking about the game that we're kind of thankful for that we
Mm.
discovered since our last episode. Going to talk about an embarrassing moment we both had during the Thanksgiving holiday. We're going to talk about a few things in regards to relationships in general, but what we found central to ours in terms of when we know we're in trouble and what our actual apology language is. And then we're going to talk about fixing a sport that we both agree needs some help. But well, I guess what we'll start into before we do this is actually wanted to first of all shout out Cannoli Sass. His merch came in yesterday, and it's a fantastic fit. Make sure you guys, if you aren't subscribed to his channel, to like and subscribe to his channel. The merch store that he has is also doing really well, and the clothing that he's got is actually true to fit. This is a size medium, so it actually fits really well. Makes me look like I've been working out. Everything I have not. So definitely, guys, go ahead and check out his merchandise as well. So I guess we're gonna get right into it with our thankful gain. Before I do that, just gonna go ahead and address the homies in the chat here. Work Comedy, what's good, sir? How you doing? You're useful as well. All right, and we'll check it with more people as they come in as well. So we were going to talk about first what we are having as our ordinary gain. I know that we called it ordinary gains. We wanted to talk more about just small gains that we've made. They don't have to necessarily be the biggest financial or the biggest thing in terms of physical strength, but that one little thing that gets just a little bit better, especially in terms of our relationship. And Shira was saying, well, hey, it's ordinary games. We might want to actually talk about an ordinary gain that we've made. So yes, I agree, Shiro. That's why she's the better half and the brains of this whole operation. So we were going to talk about our actual gain that we made, and it's more of an observation that we each made over the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, I would
Yeah,
say.
sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I will say, my love, my sun, moon, and stars. Please, what is the ordinary gain that you made in our relationship?
Well, I have learned this week to let you live. I don't know if I can say this without laughing.
Go
I
ahead.
have learned to let you live in your masculine energy.
Oh my God.
So So I want to thank you for checking the house each night and making sure it's locked up and, disciplining the dogs when they need to go to their beds and just being masculine.
Oh my God. So the reason Shiro was saying this is because I don't know if you guys watch Abba and Preach, but there was a video that they did about a woman who was telling other women that, hey, if your man is acting too feminine, here are things to help increase his masculinity. And she was saying all these things like, oh my goodness, you should say, I just love how the fact that you've been such a great provider and a great protector. Oh my goodness, it's so great that you're in your masculine and it allows me to be in my feminine.
You
And
make me feel like a princess.
oh
You're
my
so
God.
great.
Shiro is looking over me like, wait, is that what we have to do? I said, no, just say thank you. That's all. No one's asking for all that stuff. You give me more than 2 compliments, I'm suspicious. I'm like, it's close to Christmas. What you want? Mm, what you want? We said it was going to be a small Christmas. You've given me 2 compliments today, back to back. I don't like where this is going. So yeah, so we've been riffing on this for the last 2 days because
Yes.
it's been hilarious.
Just so many words. I was just like, can't you
It was
just tell them thanks or like,
it
hey,
was
thanks for choosing?
It was a lot. I mean, from when I was watching it, it was just like it's like, do you have a man? Like, are you in a relationship? We don't have all that time to be saying stuff about how great the other person is and how awesome they make them feel. It's not your birthday. It's not our anniversary. No, just say thank you. Or you say, I appreciate that. That's all we're asking for. We don't need all these
Yeah.
other words because otherwise it gets to be way too much.
I
So yeah,
mean,
we've
on
been
some level, it's true. When you say all those words, it's like, what are all these words? Just do the action. Like,
right.
oh.
If I started complimenting you 2 or 3 times, you'd already tell me no. Like, what do you mean
I
no? Like,
know.
whatever you're
No.
asking for, no. But you've been so lovely today. You allowed me to be in my masculine energy. And you'd be like, take this very feminine, no.
I mean,
So
so serious question though. Do you believe that women need to enable a man to be in their masculine energy or
I
do
have
some of those
all
things that she
I,
was describing?
I will say this. There are stages of it. So when you're first starting a relationship, you have to actually fall in love, right? Whether you actually fell with no regard to how it would make you feel, or you tripped and fell into love. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're like, oh my goodness, babe, this jar is, I can't open it. Can you help me? Can you open this jar? Things like that. Just every once in a while, something of that nature. You don't have to go over the top with it, but even when you have your conversations with your friends, you say, hey, left eye is a rare find. I tell all my friends
Yeah.
about that. I was like, yo, man, she told me a rare find. You know what I'm saying? I'm a gem in these streets. So she told me. So, it must be true. She told all her friends. So, I guess she's going to have to get more jewelry for Christmas now.
So I
You
will
know,
say this. It's a rare find in a sense that you have a good balance. Some days I look at you and I'm like, man, he could have really been a figure skater, but also he makes me feel super
wow.
safe. So you have a very nice balance.
She said that he belongs on Blades of Glory. That's just okay.
Yes.
Not gonna lie, I watched a lot of figure skating. Like Christy Yamaguchi was the shit. Okay,
She was.
see, so I could have gone either way with a lot of things. Figure skating was just one of them, I suppose. But yes, I will agree that at certain stages, to let someone know what they mean to you, it helps. It's just for guys, just say, hey, look, hey, can you open this jar? I can't open it, or hey, can you lift this? But
I do that all the time, knowing damn well I can lift it.
oh, I know. That's why I said, hey, you need to join me in some masculine energy and help me lift this.
That one video where they show the wife and she's like, when her husband's not home, she brings in this whole bed by herself and does everything by herself. But when her husband comes home, she's like, can you please help me?
Yeah. Now that we got Google Home, I was like, I've seen you lift this all day. What you need me for? I saw you lift all that stuff in from. It wasn't trouble when it was from Amazon. It was all stuff you wanted. One thing that we get for us is, it's too heavy. My back. I was like, you worked out today. I saw you. No. So, I would say that my ordinary game that I figured out is if the Shiro does something for us that she thinks will help us, and I say no, I didn't mean no. I just meant I didn't have caffeine to say yes. I will say, case in point, Shiro wants to paint one of the walls in the bedroom, right? She's she's brought her friend A Rod in with different samples to try which colors work. I go into my bedroom, it looks like she put war paint in there. Like, what battle are we preparing for right now? But she's like, no, these are paints for the walls. I like, whatever. So the day it actually comes to paint the walls, I don't want to do it at all. I said, honey, I don't really feel like doing this. Even though the podcast with Abomination was canceled, I really don't want to do this. And she's saying, hey, we need to paint these walls. And I'm thinking, well, the walls were white when we got here. What's wrong with that? So she's telling me all these things like, hey, we've got light furniture, so we need to balance it with a dark wall. I'm just like, I really don't care. This is a HDTV right now, but whatever. So she actually goes to take care of one of her volleyballists because she coaches volleyball. And so I give her her coffee before she leaves. And I actually drink, one of my Monster Energy drinks. And so like the whole time I'm trying to paint this stuff with a little paint roller. Bear in mind, I never painted a wall before in my life. So I'm just painting. I'm like, this is dumb. I don't like this. This is stupid. I mean, I guess. Huh, that really blended in there a little bit. Okay. Okay. I need to get some more paint. And then 3 hours later, I'm like, let me hit these corners here with a little paintbrush. Right. I've done the entire wall, and I'm taking great pride in this now that I've got my energy up and I've painted this entire bedroom. I will tell you, my flip switch like that when she came, it's like, well, we need to do more touch-ups. I turned into a third generation painter from the Painting Brothers business. I said, how dare you besmirch my good name of the Painter Brothers? I painted an immaculate wall for you, 4 corners with 0 help. And how dare you say you need touch-ups? So I figured at that point, I was like, you know what? If I say no, it's only because I have not had my caffeine yet. And that's why we've made our ordinary gains for the episode. So if you guys have your ordinary gains that you guys have had with your Mrs. or Mr. or significant other, put them down in the chat. You're always welcome to. Before we go into our next topic about our embarrassing time for Thanksgiving, let me go and look at the chat. We got here. I can only Sasquatch saying appreciate the support and shout out. Oh, good sir, this is a fantastic fit, man. I need to talk to you about this off camera about like where you got this from the merch store because the fit is great and so is the fabric. Sorry about all the thumping there. The dogs took a 2-hour nap and that was a mistake. Got Mrs. Canoli Sasquatch saying thanks. You are welcome. Mr. Douglas, another stream with the missus. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. I hate painting. I do too. I hate painting with a passion as well. I really want to say, Hanny, can we just pay someone to do this, please? I know it's only one room. I don't want to do this.
We have to do some things, and that's one thing we can do and not screw it up too badly. And look how prideful you are now, living in that masculine energy of painting.
Yeah. It's gonna be a theme, guys. It's gonna be a theme. Xipiter says, "What's up? Hey, what's going on, good sir? We definitely have to have you and Dr. Danes on later. You guys are vets in the marriage game, so we definitely are gonna have to have y'all come back on for another time as well." And Abomination AJ saying, "Paint with the colors of the wind." Sir, I just wanted to throw the whole paint bucket at the wall. I wanted just a straight Jackson Pollock style painting. And then she'd be like, "What?" I'd be like, "Well, it's interpretive. It's called I give up. So I don't want to do this no more." All right. So I guess the next thing we're talking about here is embarrassing Thanksgiving. Okay. So we had the new house, so we actually just went out with friends to do more of the Friendsgiving deal, right? And so we actually went to one of the Shiro's friends that she's known since she was like 18. So we go out there, and she's like, it's like family style, but it's the Mexican version, I guess. We're doing tacos, right? So like we're sitting down, and she's like, the food is finally ready. So I'm going around putting, I got, I got got the taco, got the meat on the ground beef there, spread some cheese, had some little pico on there. Even wanted to be bold enough to do some of the what is that called? It was a hot sauce, but was it a habanero hot sauce?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the devil.
Someone made
it. So it was just he was the devil, whoever made that, because it was 5-alarm fire in my mouth. Okay, so I'm looking at what is finely chopped lettuce. I was like, this is some dark green lettuce. I like this. So I'm grabbing it. I was like, well, there's no.
That looks extra fresh.
It's like extra fresh. Like, wow, it's kind of shrunken. It's a nice, good size of it. I'm just putting it in there because I'm thinking maybe this is like maybe this is that extra conscientious lettuce that they keep telling us about. It's that ethically sourced lettuce. So so I'm just so I had that's what it looked like. It looked like it would be in the section of like organic goods. This is organic lettuce. That's why it's darker green. It's got some more chlorophylls because we ethically sourced it. That's what I'm thinking. So I've got this taco, and I'm 3 bites in, and then what did you say, honey?
I said, "Oh, you like a lot of cilantro."
When your spouse messes up, you just want to, hey, You know cilantro, right? She goes, you must really like cilantro. Everybody heard it, and now I got cilantro hanging out my mouth like a damn cow, and everyone's like, I
It
said,
was
listen,
covered. Like it was still on the stalk. Cilantro.
this. I thought it was ethically sourced, and I thought you're not supposed to take it off the stock because that would mean, you're not ethically sourcing your lettuce the right way. And so the thing is, I didn't register that she said it, and I didn't register that everyone else heard what she said. And I'm like, this isn't lettuce, and I could
Oh
not
gosh.
live that down for the last hour and a half of the meal. Everyone was saying, "Are you okay? Is it good?" I was like, "Now I have to finish it." So now
Well,
it
so
looks like I
not
really
only
like
does he
cilantro.
say,
What?
not only do you say, "Is this isn't lettuce?" And we're like, "No," and he goes, "Oh, I thought it was special lettuce." And now I come to find out he thinks it's this organically sourced lettuce. What? We're in San Antonio.
I thought that's what it was. I was like, man, this is extra green lettuce. I don't want to be the person that just puts all the meat on there. I got to go ahead and put that on there and make sure that everything tastes well and be like, compliment this special lettuce and you know where you got it from. So I can have the special lettuce. So I can, be above everyone else and say my lettuce is ethically sourced. Look how green it is. So yeah, that I for an hour and a half, I endured all the scrutiny in the world. It was funny after it happened, but at the day when it happened, I'm just looking at her like, you couldn't just whisper that. You couldn't ask Dave, that's cilantro. I mean, just so glad, just that you must really like cilantro. We've been together for 4 years. When have I ever just said, "Pass me the cilantro"?
Well, that's
Ever.
why I was like, because I never get cilantro because it tastes like soap to me. So I thought maybe like I'd been missing out on giving you something you really liked.
I would have for 4 years. I would have told you that. I'd have been like, "Come on." It just yes. Anyway, so fast forward to the what 3 days later, and A Rod's having a birthday party, and so we go to this. She just said, "Oh, it's just a Mexican restaurant." This place was fancy. Okay, you could get into this place 3 different ways, and everyone were separate from the actual restaurant. Okay, so they took us upstairs in this very special dining hall, and so for this place being this nice, the chairs are this wide, and if I do like the whole chair is gonna fall over, right? So you ever seen your wife miss the chair and it happens in slow motion in your eyes and you think they're joking? Like, why would you do this in public? There are a lot of people around. You don't want to joke. This is not a joking matter. So she put her purse on the chair and the chair took a tumble back, but it was falling at the same rate she was trying to sit. And so they both fell at the same time. But I'm watching it happening in slow motion. I'm like, why would she do this right now? We're in public. Why would you risk your spine on this one? I'm not gonna pick you up off the floor like this if that's what we're gonna do this as a unit. I thought you were
I was
joking.
sitting. No, I was sitting, and I was like, "Where's this chair at?" Like, I was like, "Was it that low?" And then I
Ma'am,
ended up on the floor. Like, what happened? Because
you
there
thought it
was
was a
no
deep
chair.
what kind of deep squat did you
I
think you were doing?
I thought you pulled the chair from out from under me.
Wow. In public? Never. Because if you fall and hurt yourself, then I gotta explain that and the police show up. No, there's no way. So she's like, "What happened?" I was like, "Honey, the chair is really light. It just, let's pick you up off the floor. We'll move the chair." And it happened again too at one point. Like it fell back over when we tried to go to the bathroom because it's so light. But yes, that just lets y'all know that as a unit, E.G.O and Shira were not on it for Thanksgiving this year. Maybe next year we'll do better, but Jesus, it was it was a rough ride both publicly. Let me see what else we got. So before we go on to our next topic on here, I'm just gonna go ahead and check and adjust the chat here. And oh, Exhibitor, when you heard about the cilantro, yes, sir. You've known me long enough to know that that has happened. It should surprise you that you shouldn't be surprised, and you are still okay. He follows it up
Well,
with a
you
wow.
have this thing with food. I feel like if it's
What?
out there, you're eating it. And like if we're in a public setting and we're at somebody's house and they're doing like we all order food or something, like sometimes you don't ask, you just pick it up and eat it. It's like,
You calling me a toddler?
yes.
Who go num num? Is that me?
That's literally what you do. I mean, prime example is when we all ordered our own wings and you ate somebody
Don't do
else's
that.
wings.
Don't do that. It was communal. You put them
It
side
was
by
not
side.
communal.
No one's names were on it. I thought it was communal. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know what you want me to do. Like you put food together. I'm assuming it's buffet line style. That's what you learn as a child. You put food together on a table. It's communal at that point. Okay.
Yeah, but is it communal if someone previously asked you what kind of wings do you want and you gave them a very specific answer? And then the wings you took were not the ones you provided an answer of?
That's not so. What that meant to me was, hey, if you had your druthers, this is what you want. But as a community, we're all going to be sharing the wings. But hey, what's one that you want to go into the community chest? So I was like, oh, I want to go regular with mine, so we can always just pick. If that were the case, you just put them in my lap. I'd have been fine with that. That's all. That was the only thing that got me. And everyone's like, and you let me go 4 or 5 wings deep before anyone said anything. That's all.
Well, I don't think anyone noticed until you were like up there, not getting your wings. That's That's why when you leave stuff in the refrigerator for lunch, I eat it because you always end up eating my stuff. So
I forget it's there. You put it there. But thank you, World of Comedy. I stand with E.G.O. If you don't want me eating food, don't put it within our exactly. As an aside, I tell her all the time, I'm the oldest of 4 boys. Okay, it is a war zone at the dinner table. We used to hide food from each other. Like, hey, why are the grapes in the bread basket? So you don't find them. That's why. Put it back. Why are there Pop-Tarts behind the orange juice? Because that's where I was hiding it. Put it back. Okay, you'll find food everywhere where it's not supposed to be for that reason. So the minute it's on the table, it's fair game. Okay, it's a fight. This is why you have more than 2 siblings. It's gonna be rough. It's a battle royale of life. Okay, so next thing that we've got on here is one thing that we've had to figure out being with each other at this point is figuring out when we're in trouble. I told Shiro not to tell me when she knows that she's in trouble with me, but I told her and she knows when I know that I'm in trouble with her. It's like she's got 2 levels. Okay, I call it turtling and blast off. Okay.
Oh my god.
So if we're having a discussion about something, usually what happens is I get really introspective towards the end of the night, especially if we're watching something. Like we were watching Haunting of Hill House and Haunting of Bly Manor, which were fantastic movies because we love watching horror. And so, excuse me. And so what happens is it requires a lot of thinking, and I like to really think more late at night. And so I come up with all these scenarios in my head that hasn't even happened yet. I'm like, yo, do you think she's really dead but doesn't know it? But she's interacting with people that do know. They're trying to tell each other because they know that she doesn't know, but she should know. And so after a while, Shiro does what I call turtling, and which means is head comes in, arms go out like this, just like a turtle. He's like, E.G.O, I don't know. And I'm like, okay. So she's irritated, but she's not upset. So I can try to go a little bit above that. And
okay, wait a minute though. Can I just say, during a movie or a series, when it's interesting, I don't want to stop to talk about what you think is going to happen. And I don't want to hear your scenario over them talking because I'm just trying to be in the movie and watch it.
If that were the case, God would not give us the pause button. Okay, you need to pause on this right now. Okay, also I'm not gonna press play. Sometimes purposefully, I'll pause it on purpose, just stare at it for a second before I get into it, and then I'll see if she doesn't do this. Like, oh, I am cleared to go, and then I'll start saying what I gotta say. And so it got to the point where she turtled, and then I was telling her like, "Hey, honey, you need to actually watch this because something's gonna happen." And you know what she's gonna? She'd be like, "I have eyes," and I was like, "What you mean you got eyes?" I was like, "What are we? What are you trying to say?
Okay,
You got
I did
eyes?"
not mean it like that. I just meant that I myself have eyes and I can see the TV and what is happening.
You know damn well the situation with my eye.
Why are you projecting
Wow.
on me?
I knew where that came from. I knew where that came from. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so she's like, I see you have eyes. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep talking now because I'm not even in that much trouble. So I keep talking, and then she goes from what I call to turtling to blast off. So when she throws her hands down like this by her sides, she looks like a space. She looks like she's one of the old school NASA with the flutes at the bottom. She's about to blast off. So in my head, every time she does it, I'm like, we have liftoff. I'm in trouble now. She is just she's taking off. So let me bring this back down. And so that's what I found is that when she's irritated, turtling, when she's upset, blast off. And I mean, one
When
time she
was
just
the first time you saw me blast off?
I
Do you
don't
remember?
remember.
Or
It
did you
isn't
just start to notice that like I was getting
so
upset?
when you did it, you kind of like stepped up on your tippy toes too, and I was like, huh, it's kind of like a rocket ship there. Just I had it in my head, I was doing the whole full commentaries like, we have lift off, NASA. It is in orbit. The chicken is in the pot. Cook it. It is good. It's just I had a whole thing in my head when you did it. And you did it again. I was like, there it is again, blasting off. Both times I had to apologize later, so I figured, you know what? Okay, so that's what it looks like when I'm in trouble. Okay, duly noted. And now I just
Why
I
don't you
rise.
just stop when you see it happening?
Mm, you like to see how far you can kind of go with it. Like, are you really upset? What else is going on? Maybe it's not me. Maybe I'm a microcosm of what's really making you upset. It winds up being
I'm throwing
what
my hands to the ground so I don't throw my hands at you.
that is good because I have a bruisable face and I talk to the police. Anyway, that is what I've learned. What do you know when it comes to me being upset with you?
So typically you don't get upset. Like it's really rare that you like get like real upset. But you just shut off. You get super quiet. And you
Okay.
can tell. I could just tell. You turn on like your freezer box and I could
Freezer
feel
box.
the ice coming
Oh,
from your body.
ice box where my heart used to be. That's true. I go ice
Yes.
box. Okay.
Yes. You go full ice box. So it's a totally different ego in front of me. And I'm like, ugh.
That is fair. Can you remember the first
That's how
time
we're
you
gonna handle
encountered that?
yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that face. No, don't do that. You act like it was yesterday. It was not yesterday. No.
It was.
Yesterday?
No, it wasn't
Okay.
yesterday.
Okay. I was gonna say.
No, Betty, she was older. Betty was my dog of like 11 years. E.G.O had never had a pet, and we were staying over the weekend. Betty was in her cage, but she had an accident. And so, of course, there was a bit of a mess in the cage and on Betty.
She walked
And
it out like honey. All that was missing was the song because the way she was strutting in her own poop, she did it to piss me off. You think she was nice and innocent, but towards the end, she started being a little punk.
She did. She was struggling. Um, and so, yeah, I think that's the first time because I remember I was at your place. I was trying to clean everything up, and you basically like just shut off. You didn't answer the phone. You didn't. I was trying to find the shampoo. I had no idea where things were at. And I'm like, okay, I guess.
That's fair. It was the first time I know that if you get into an argument, you should just walk away. So whatchamacallit? Oh yeah, that's true. I'm sorry for skipping everyone else in line. I did call it exhibitor when this happened.
Did you really?
I did. That's where
That's why. Look, that's why you weren't answering my calls. Now I know, because the boyfriend got the gear first. The wife doesn't have any gear. It's fine. I
you didn't
see.
have you didn't have that much standing yet. Okay, it was still early in the abomination. Okay, or it was in the relationship. So at
Mhm.
that point, I didn't really know where it was going to go. I just had to say, "Hey, do these accidents happen?" And then exhibitor was like, "Yeah." So what you gonna do? I said, "I guess I should just go back in and apologize." I guess fine,
I guess.
whatever. It kind of which brings us to like another thing within this is that I know I didn't know that and I didn't know about it until we met, but everyone had been talking about love languages, and
Oh.
everyone talks about, oh my God, do you know what your love language is? And I was like, what is that? And they were like, oh, it means it's like acts of service, gift and gift giving, quality time. What was the other one?
There's like 5 of them.
There's 5 of them. It's just that every
Gift
time that
giving, quality time, touch.
one of those, I forget. It's
Oh,
just
words of affirmation.
yes,
Something else. I
one
don't
one
know.
of those. It's some of
One
those, yeah.
one of them that doesn't matter probably.
Right. It's just like every time people would bring it up, they all sound the same. It's, oh my God, do you know what your love language is? Do you like, is it worth of affirmation? Is it gift giving? I was like, I don't fucking know. Yeah, we're together. It's just, we're together. That's the love language, right? And so I got more understanding of the nuances of love languages. But what I actually figured out is just as important is your apology language. Okay. Everyone, especially if you're married, you need to know what your apology language is. And so we were thinking about it, and we're saying, hey, we know what our love languages are. I would say I'm gift giving, but you said it's something else, right?
What, your love language?
Mine, yeah,
What you like? So your love
yes,
language is what you like. So
yes, I
me
guess, yeah.
showing you love, you think I love you more when I give you a gift?
See, this is why it can get confusing for me.
Yeah,
I
it's yours. So what
okay.
makes you feel loved?
You
Is
make
it
me
touch?
food. What is food? When you make me food, what is that? What is that called?
Acts of
That.
service. It's acts
There
of
we
service.
go.
That's the one we were missing.
Yes, yes, that one. Acts of service. Yes. So we figured out, hey, now that you know that you're in trouble and you've messed up, how do you apologize? Now, for the really, 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 really bad ones, I will say, I am sorry. I messed up. Okay. We usually don't really have those big blowups because we usually we head them off before that happens because 9 times out of 10, we're both just hungry and we just need to sit
Mm-hmm.
down and eat and then we'll talk about it later. However, I will say I'm sorry, but generally, I've learned that my apology language, and Shira knows this, is I'll just say something random that's a fact that everyone knows, but it's kind of me leading into saying I'm sorry. So I'll be like, "Hey, houses they have a roof and a garage if you're lucky. Did you know that?" And then I've been like, while we're on the subject, I'm sorry for what I said. Okay, should have said it, but the more important thing to know is that a house has a roof. That's for if you take anything from this, not the apology. It's just houses have roofs. Okay. And so that's my way of saying I apologize.
As soon as you say that shit, I just look at you like, okay, come on with it. For real. But I mean, when you're mad at me, I'm like, do you want something to eat? Do you want a drink? I just try to give you things until you accept it from me.
I'm like, she's like, it's warm. I was like, oh, okay. So it was already in the microwave. That requires forethought. I accept your fealty. No apology.
I don't think I do things though that often warrant an apology.
Um, you don't. It's just signing me up for stuff I didn't want to do, but it's couple stuff that I didn't want to do. But it's like, well, I guess this qualifies as date night, but I'm not happy about it. And then she'll be like, well, we're gonna eat this on top of that, and I'm like, I guess I accept this offer of fealty. I was considered fine. So yeah, we often don't really get upset with each other, and we usually don't let it get to that point. But then again, we're in what, year one of the marriage? Well, we've been together for 4 years, so we kind of know each other in some regard. So yeah, so I just say facts that really don't make any sense. But since I'm driving, I'm gonna be driving someplace that's gonna make her happier. It's like either the mall, I'm gonna get some food or something like that. And so for sure, she just pretty much feeds me at that point. So that's where we actually work things out that way.
But
Let's see what else we
I
do.
think
But
most of the time when we're upset with each other, you're right. It's either we're hungry, we need a nap, and you also know my cycle very well. So you know what days are going to be what actions. So that helps us out a whole lot. Like,
that is fair. That is
for
fair.
you, I know that like when you get home, I can't like pounce on you and be like, hey, this happened. Da, 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 I need you to do this, and this. And you're going
No,
to stare at me like, no.
I've been dealing with people all day. I was like, I go straight into to doctor mode at that point. Oh, and yes. Well, what else would you like? Before we begin, what else would you like to tell me? And she could tell. She's like, you know what? Go sit down. I'm gonna feed you something, and then we'll talk about things later. She usually gets whatever she wants as long as food is in front of me. So I was thinking, that we should go on Saturday. Sure, sure, sure. Are you sure about that? But this is really good. Okay, I'll do whatever you want. That's usually how it goes, and I accept this is my fate. But let's see what else we got for the chat on here. That's Dr. Danes during the movie. She likes to make commentary and ask questions. This is why Dr. Danes, me, and Excipitor can't watch a movie together, because between me and Danes stopping the movie every 10 minutes, a 2 hour movie is going to be 4.5 hours. At least Dr. Danes likes to engage with the possibilities. Excipitor, sir. Oh, my God.
Well, hold on though, but I would say on our movie nights, she did her best to hold it in. You, on the other hand, are sitting next to me and like whispering, not really whispering.
I mean, don't you quotation mark my whispers.
I was like, shut up, I can't hear.
But you can read. That multitasking. She likes to tell me every time she got a 132 IQ and she can do all these multitasking. But when it comes to me, oh, now I have a single track mind. Okay. So what you call it? Oh, John Douglas, the moment when you use your physical disability to dunk on your significant other. Oh, I do that all the time. I do that all. It's great. It is great. I mean, so on top of having the eye condition, I don't hear so well either. And Shira knows I'm a drama king. She knows that. So when I fake being hurt, I say things that sound really, really deep, but she knows I'm joking. I'd be like, you know what, honey? I may have hearing loss, but in this moment, I don't feel hurt. That look right there, she does. It's so funny, but it's some of these things you have to ask because damn it, if you don't, it can be depressing. But it is so fun to just dunk on your significant other with your disabilities. Sometimes she'll be like, "Hey, did you see where we're going, honey? I'm sorry, I didn't see that you wanted to do that. This my vision lately. I don't know what's going on." I didn't see that you wanted to go out at 3:30 on a Saturday and spend the rest of the day. I don't know how I could have missed that with the eye that functions. Oh my goodness. However, I get over this. Abomination E.G.O calls me E.G.O Marian. Oh damn, I should have thought of that. Wow.
Oh yeah. That's actually kind of good.
E.G.O
You gonna bust a move?
I probably will under the moniker at some point. I have to upload a next video for E.G.O Marion. That's actually, I'm using that. Icebox where his heart used to be so cold. It's so cold. Yes, sir. What should we call it? Love language sounds gayer than monkeypox. It is.
The worst part about that when people ask you on a date, like, if you've ever taken the test, and I have, you would know that you're more than one typically. And sometimes you're like even, like it's a combination of things that make you feel loved. And it's the other person doing those things.
That's why I didn't understand it at first, because there was a lot going on. Exhibitor saying another sign of marriage right there. She wrote, drinking alcohol for tough conversations. That was a heavy pour. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, you know, my glass is kind of dwindling too. We might want to hurry up for me always. Can only Sasquatch says food always works for me. Yep, she knows the weight of my heart's to my stomach. Um, let's see, where will comment? I just apologize in advance. It's only a matter of time before I say something I shouldn't. I want to, but then I was like, I don't know if like that means I have to do 2 apologies in advance, or like, is this a 3 apologies in advance? Will the one a blanket? How long is the blanket for? You know, do I have an apology coupon? Can I redeem it? Like, how's that supposed to work? Wait, what? Ooh, can I do
Well, I'm
apology
just saying,
coupons?
no.
Man,
I'm just saying, like, if you feel like you're apologizing constantly, I mean,
that's
I
fair.
don't know. Are you with someone who truly understands where you're coming from, or your sense of humor, or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Because if you're constantly apologizing, you probably are feeling like you're walking on eggshells eventually.
That is
But
fair. Okay.
I mean,
That is fair. I'll give you that. That
like,
makes sense.
and I mean a true apology, not your shit
Oh
about
yeah.
houses have roots.
I don't. I've gotten better with my apologies because I used to didn't apologize at all.
Never. Nope. He wouldn't do it
So
at all. And I'd be sitting there like, no, I really think you need to apologize for this. Like,
I was like, I was like, apology is weakness. It does not exist in this dojo. Then she said, I'll elbow drop the shit out of you. That'll be new dojo. I said, I'm sorry. So let me see what the Pacific's got on here. Until children gun, then there's new anger at each other. Bro, I've got new anger with her now that we got dogs. Like
what?
for Wally, all
What
this
do you mean?
the special ed stuff he be doing sometimes. This dog, so when normal dogs, when they get out of the couch, they kind of lean out. They don't touch anything other on you. They just like, oh, I'm on the couch. Let me put a paw on the carpet, leg is out. They stretch out. This dog foam rolled my kneecap. And he stopped because he knew I said, ouch, looked at me with those dog eyes and did it again and kept going. Just rolled my entire kneecap over. I looked dead at her. I was like, this is what you find in the streets, huh? This one right here. We're perfectly fine with the dog that we had that was well behaved. And you said, hey, let's throw some chaos in here. Now I got
He is
kneecap
not
foam roller.
chaos.
That's what the woman said about Damien, okay? Camille Sasquatch says we've been married almost 19 years. We just look at each other and we apologize with our eyes. We're so in sync. I'm trying to get there. I just don't know which eye she's gonna look at for my apology. I don't want to fuck that one up.
I'm gonna look in the one that you can't see out of and be like, nope, I don't see no apology there.
See, and that's actually gonna mess that up right there. Using my disability again on me to jujitsu that one on me. My wife and I just blow up and then get over it. We've had our blow ups and we will get over it. It just food has to help us. Food has to help us. All right. Except for her being here. And Mr. Douglas, but let's be honest, the best part about having a fight isn't makeup sex. It is. It can be helpful. It's got its place. All right. So the other thing that we were talking about is since Shiro actually does coach volleyball, we're talking about a lot of different sports and just the differences in the men's sports and the women's sports. And because she likes to play co-ed volleyball as well, they'll play what's called mixed. You call it? Is it called mixed? With the one of the men mixed with the women.
You said it's co-ed.
I played volleyball with you like 3 or 4 times. Whatever. I played volleyball with you 4 or 5 times, but I don't play with her volleyball and her more anymore because they be having ex-athletes on there. I've seen them spike. I got one eye. I'm not going blind. Like there's no masculine way to say you lost your sight in a volleyball game.
Just it's not true. If you get hit on the face, that shit hurts.
Yeah. What's the last thing you saw? Voight.
Voight.
Like, really? That's the masculine energy you want?
Put your hands up. Protect your face.
I'm going to put some hands in his face if that's what had to happen to me. So anyway, we were talking about some of the differences just in the regulations. as far as what she was saying in terms of the nets, because she's saying that when you're playing co-ed, the net is what usually a little bit lower. Is it?
No, so co-ed is not.
Okay.
Co-ed is at the men's height.
Of how
And
tall is that?
then, oh gosh, I want to say 8 feet,
Okay. Whereas for women, it's
maybe
what,
a
six
little
feet?
higher. Women's is at 7,
Okay. So it's about,
right
about a
around 7.
foot difference. And so
Yeah.
we're talking the fact that, they will change the rules when it comes to the genders on that, but there are certain sports that actually they don't do that for at all. So we're talking about the NBA and the WNBA. And so for the WNBA, their goal is actually at 10 feet, just to be like in line with the NBA. And so we were saying, I guess what if we had to do one thing to change like women's sports and make it more entertaining, what would you do? And she's saying, hey, lower the rim. And you were saying what? How low would you make the rim for you?
I don't know. So here's the thing: in women's volleyball, there are 6 foot plus girls,
Mhm.
right, or women. Um, they typically reach to about 7 foot. Give them like at least a foot vertical or more if they're collegiate athlete. I mean, that's about what, like 8 feet,
About
right? I
about
mean, and so I think the men's net must be like closer to 9 feet. I can't remember, but it's higher. It's definitely higher. Like I can full on walk under it
Oh
when I'm
wow,
standing
okay.
there. So, but yeah, I mean the vertical difference, even the height difference for a lot of people. I mean, it would just make sense to lower it because right now I think there are a lot of women who are very good at basketball. However, when you talk about the excitement of the sport, there's only maybe a handful of women who could actually dunk, and them dunking is not like I'm gonna go do a dunk contest and do it between my legs and over a car and all that stuff. It's, look, I was able to hang on the rim a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
Very true. That I understand. It's because I've seen the dunks and usually they're like breakaway dunks, and the crowd will
right.
go wild. It's just like three fingers go on top of the rim and the ball goes in. Like, oh my god, she just dunked. I remember when Lisa Leslie did it. It seemed like the biggest thing, but she was like 7 feet tall and she did it. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I think the WNBA was well into like maybe their second or third year before she could do it. And so we were saying, hey, look, if you want to make this really, really, really entertaining, lower the goal to what? 8 feet?
Let's say 8. Let's just call it 8.
Call it 8 feet, right? That way, at least if you're 6'1", 6'2", and you might have a little bit of a vertical, you can do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we were talking about, I know men talk trash, but our talking trash is usually very, very, very derivative. Like dunk on a guy, oh man, my nuts in your face. Ha 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 ha. Oh man, these nuts got dunked on. Ha 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 ha. But women's trash talk,
It
yo,
would be unruly. It would be so unruly.
oh, I don't even know what I would say. Can you imagine like if you number one get crossed over by WM player, right? Then you're trying to take a charge out the restricted circle, and she just cocks one back and yams on you, and then you're on the floor after the whistle blows because they're saying and one. Now you got dunked on. You're looking up, and she looks like you like, how's my diva cup taste? Like, what do you say to that? I like coach take me out the game. Like I'm emotionally destroyed right now. Like the guy that says emotional damage. Like he needs to be commentating if that happens to me because you need to take me out the game because obviously I have failed in all aspects if I have no comeback for that.
I mean,
But
I don't know. I'm assuming with like pro athletes and stuff, they talk some really bad shit, like, and they're out to get you, right? I know even in like high school playing volleyball and stuff, my goal was to hit people in the face. Like, I,
and
you
you
know what
wonder
I
why I
mean?
don't want to
Like,
play no more. And you
we're
wonder why
really
that's why I have trust
competitive.
issues. That's why I have trust issues playing volleyball with y'all right there.
It just, yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, some of those women have been able to dunk. It took them a while to work on their verticals. I mean, tall women jump, but not all of them have 3-foot verticals, right?
Fair.
More of them have like a foot. You know, it's you really, as a woman, to get your vertical that high, you really have to work on it. And then I think the WNBA's ball is lighter than the men's
Right.
already. So maybe that was their initial, like, okay, this is the compromise. Give them a lighter ball. But I mean,
go ahead.
I think in the NBA, right, there are many can dunk. It's not just a one here or there on a select team. It's many.
Right.
So I don't know.
I'd be all for it. I mean, you could be this much closer to actually having a possible dunk contest. I mean,
Right.
if it were up to me, I would just say, hey, on top of that, if you're gonna make this thing 10 feet, put trampolines back on the court. Okay. I don't even know if you remember slam ball. Like, we need to go full slam ball with this if we're gonna do this. I would say that for me, I would even do that with the NBA. All-Star game is just a trampoline match of slam ball. I want to see someone jump 20 feet in the air, go between your legs 4 times, and then dunk on a guy. Okay, let's go as high with this as we can. But we'll start with the WNBA and we'll say, hey, 8-foot goals, and we're gonna mic up everybody because there is no way I want to miss out on all of the actual on all of the actual trash talk that is going to happen. That is, for me, a way to fix it. I would be much more intrigued. I would even have to be Shira. What would you say if someone told you that? Why would you, like? Can you imagine getting dunked on and being like, "Wow, that felt great. What the hysterectomy I just gave you? Like, my ability to have children? Wow."
I don't know if we'd be saying all of that.
I don't know. Y'all are vicious to each other, okay? Some of the hardest hitting lines in any drama you'll ever watch is the shit women say to other women, okay? Men
Well,
will say
that's
something.
true.
Yeah, men will say something veiled like, don't mess with the wrong one. Russian wife out here on the streets. You're like, okay, I kind of get that. But the stuff y'all are saying is just like 5 layers of cruelty.
I mean, you like to say we have no cap, but
you don't have a cap. No.
What do you mean there's why is there a cap? I don't understand.
Right there. That right there. Because every man knows that you have to put a cap on it because violence is around the corner. Okay. With women, they don't have a cap because, hey, it might come, might not come. Like, what you mean? There may or may not be glass in the food you're eating. Wait, what? It may or may not be peppered. Tastes a little bit tingly. Wait, what? There was no need for that. All I did was I forgot to pick up the kids. I didn't know you was gonna pepper my meatloaf with glass. Exactly. What? No cap. No cap.
Use your words, and some words cut deeper than other.
Exactly.
Things.
That's why they say women say 3 times as more words than men, because half of them are threats. Right there. Anyway, we get some more of the chat on here. So we get HR Puffin Muff. Exactly.
Oh my God.
I am with it. John Douglas laughs in the affirmative, and except for they're saying truth on there as well. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much what we've got for the episode on here. We're gonna try to do this at least maybe once or twice a month. The next stream we're gonna have is going to be the Christmas stream because I have questions that need to be addressed. See how she makes her face? Like that right there. That's why we need to talk about it, okay? We just need to we need to ask y'all some questions about, your thoughts on Christmas and when certain things are or are not appropriate, as well as your favorite Christmas movie. So I'll bring that up. That one, we're actually gonna probably do that one sooner rather than later because I'm hot on that one, okay? I love Christmas, okay? What, Scrooge? What? See? Exactly.
We have to put it all up and then take it all down, and it's like, really?
'Tis the season. They tell you that. That's the apology right there. Why? Because 'tis the season. That's it. That's all. 'Tis the season. Okay. I remember you saying this when we watched all your funky Hallmark movies. Oh my God, I live such a hard life. I work 60-hour weeks, and I'm gonna take this vacation to Aruba. I'm gonna fall in love with a stranger in 4 days.
Yes, that's how it works. Because their love language is vacation.
No, no, no. See that we need to go before I blast off. Okay, we need to go. We will see you guys later. All right, you guys have a good night. For E.G.O and Shiro, we're out of here.